This is Sarah. She's the one everyone depends on. If someone's falling apart, Sarah holds them together. People call her kind, responsible, selfless. But by the end of this video, I want you to answer one question. Is Sarah simply one of the kindest people you'll ever meet? Or has she been carrying something no child was ever meant to carry? Fifth wedding anniversary, candlelight, Daniel raises his glass to us. Sarah's phone buzzes. It's her brother. You don't have to answer, Daniel says. He never calls this late. She's already standing. 20 minutes later, she's back. Dinner's cold. He was stressed. She says, he needed me. Daniel looks at her for a long moment. Has it ever crossed your mind that everyone always seems to need you? She laughs. I guess that's just who I am. No, he says quietly. I think someone taught you that you had to become that person. Every morning, before she finishes her coffee, someone needs something. A co-worker forgot a deadline. Her mother needs help with a bill. Her brother wants reassurance. Sarah says yes, every time. She never asks whether she has the energy left. She simply assumes she should. At work, her manager jokes, if Sarah's here, nothing can go wrong. Everyone laughs. No one notices she hasn't taken a real lunch break in weeks. At home, the shape repeats. Her mother calls almost every evening, sometimes about nothing except needing a familiar voice. Her brother calls when life gets hard. Friends call after breakups. Everyone calls her reliable. No one ever asks, who is reliable for Sarah? Late at night, after the phone finally stops ringing, she sits alone, not relaxed, empty and tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. The kind that comes from carrying invisible weight for so long you forgot you're carrying it. A weekend at a cabin. No signal, no city noise. Daniel's idea. Just the two of them. The moment they arrive, Sarah reaches for her phone. Out of habit. Nothing. Who are you worried about? Daniel asks. My mom, my brother, my team, my co-workers, Lisa. She keeps going. Anyone else? What do you mean? You named everyone. He pauses. Except yourself. Sarah forces a smile. I'm fine. Daniel doesn't answer. He looks out the cabin window for a long moment. Then, after a long silence, he says quietly, I feel like I'm sharing my wife with the whole world. Sarah laughs nervously. That's dramatic, is it? He looks back at her. I don't think anyone in your life even knows you're tired. For the first time all weekend, Sarah has nothing to say. The next morning, steam rises off a pot of oatmeal, and suddenly she isn't in the cabin anymore. She's 9 years old, standing on a chair because she's too short to reach the stove, stirring a pot of soup. Her little brother sits at the table behind her. Outside, kids ride bikes down the street. One waves for her to come out. She looks just for a second, then turns back to the soup. If it burns, her mother has nothing to eat after a 12-hour shift. The kids disappear down the street. Sarah stays at the stove, as if that was exactly what a 9-year-old was supposed to do. Lunch with her brother Michael. "My daughter reminds me of you," he says. Then quieter, "I hope she doesn't become like you." "When I was scared, I didn't run to Mom," he tells her. "I ran to you. When I couldn't sleep, you stayed up with me. You weren't my sister." He looked down at his coffee. "You were my parent." That night, Sarah finds an old photo. Herself at 9, carrying 2 grocery bags, holding her brother's hand. She's not smiling. She looks older than 9. "I look tired," she says. Daniel looks over her shoulder. "You do." The next morning, she types something into Google she's never searched before. "Why do I always feel responsible for everyone?" One word keeps repeating across the results: parentification. She doesn't click on it. She just stares at it, like something inside her has finally been given a name, even if she doesn't fully understand it yet. Dr. Bennett's office has 2 worn chairs and no drama. And she asks, "What brings you here?" "I'm tired, the kind sleep doesn't fix." Sarah talks for almost an hour. The divorce, her mother's shifts, cooking, cleaning, her brother. Then she shrugs. It really wasn't that bad. Dr. Bennett is quiet for a moment and then asks, "When you were 9, who took care of you?" Sarah searches her memory. Birthdays, homework, bedtime. Nothing. Dr. Bennett waited, and then she repeated, "When was the last time someone took care of you?" Sarah opened her mouth. Nothing came out. She searched the last year, then 5 years, then 10. Finally, she whispered, "I don't know." The tears come before she understands why. This has a name. Dr. Bennett says, parentification. It doesn't mean your mother didn't love you. It means life handed a child an adult's responsibilities, and children survive the only way they can. They adapt. So, there's something wrong with me? No, there's something that happened to you. Those are very different things. Before Sarah left, Dr. Bennett handed her 3 small exercises. For the next week, she said, "I want you to try something different. First, whenever someone asks you for something, don't answer right away. Count to 5. Not to change your answer, but to remember that you actually have a choice. Second, leave one small thing undone each day. A dish in the sink, an email that can wait until tomorrow. Then notice what really happens. And third, once a day, say one sentence out loud about what you need. Even if no one else hears it, your voice deserves to hear it. 2 weeks later at dinner, her phone buzzes. It's her brother. Her hand moves toward it out of habit, then stops. She counts to 5, turns the phone face down. Later, she calls him back, listens for 10 minutes, then says something she's never said before. "I love you, but I have to go. I'm having dinner." No crisis follows. No one stops loving her. The world keeps turning. Sarah wasn't born believing everyone came first. She learned it. That's what parentification is. Parentification happens when a child is asked to carry responsibilities that belong to an adult. Sometimes practical, like cooking or raising younger siblings. Sometimes emotional, like becoming a parent's comforter or a peacemaker. The child learns one lesson early. My needs can wait. Other people come first. That lesson helps a child survive an unstable or overwhelmed household. But years later, it quietly costs them their peace, showing up as guilt when they rest, difficulty asking for help, and a sense that love has to be earned through usefulness. The good news: what was learned under pressure as a survival strategy can also be unlearned, not overnight and not perfectly, but one small choice at a time. And a message to parents. If you're a parent watching this, it's not about blame. Most parents, like Sarah's mother, are doing their best inside circumstances they didn't choose. But a few small things can matter tonight. Ask your child what they need today, not just what they've done for someone else. Let them see you solve a problem without recruiting them to help. Thank them for something they didn't have to do, so being unhelpful still feels safe. And before bed, try saying it out loud. You don't have to take care of me. That's my job. And a message to society. We praise children who act like little adults. We call them mature, responsible, wise beyond their years, without asking what they gave up to become that way. A child who never needs anything isn't necessarily strong. Sometimes they've simply learned that needing things doesn't get answered, so they stopped asking. Somewhere inside Sarah, there's still a little girl, standing on a chair, stirring a pot of soup, watching other children ride their bikes. She waited a very long time for someone to tell her, "You can stop now." Maybe today she finally heard it. You didn't choose what you carried, but today you can begin putting some of it down. And now we reach the first questions. So, was Sarah simply kind? Or was she a 9-year-old who learned that being needed was the only way to feel safe and never stopped? If any part of this felt familiar, a parent, a sibling, or yourself, tell us in the comments. What's one thing you do for everyone else that you've never asked someone to do for you?